certainly looking forward to get the 2016 season kicked off this Thursday night, home at BB&T Field. I think we've had a very productive camp. We've had a lot of improvement. A lot of our guys have taken those jumps you hope they would have through summer workouts. And I think our football team right now is at the point that they're ready to play a game and have the score count. This week we host what's expected to be a very improved Tulane football team. They're led by an excellent head coach, Coach Fitz, and he has won everywhere he's been, Coach Fritz. He's been at Blinn Junior College, Central Missouri, Sam Houston State, Georgia Southern. Everywhere he's been, he's won. And I certainly, from my background, respect people the way that he has climbed the profession. That there's not a lot of us, in the profession at this level that work themselves through the levels the way he has. And it's his 24th year as a head coach. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to run a program. He knows how to run an offense, a defense, a special teams, and we know they'll be extremely well coached. Defensively, they return one of the most experienced defenses in the country. I think they have over 140 combined starts. Certainly up front, it starts with their three technique, Tanzel Smart. And he's projected right now to be a mid-round draft choice, and he's big, he's athletic, he's very physical, and he's going to be a very, very difficult matchup for us. And then at the ends, both Kennedy and Aruna, we think are very athletic players that can rush the passer, and certainly our tackles will be challenged. The linebackers are led by Nico Marley and Eric Thomas, and these guys are very experienced. I think Marley has over 230 tackles the last 2 seasons. And in the secondary, they're long and athletic. Nickerson, Lewis are their corners, and these guys have played a lot of football for them. And certainly the safety, Franklin, if his numbers in terms of vertical jump and running, just athletically is going to be as good as anybody we see. Offensively, it's a system offense that we anticipate that they'll be doing what they ran at Georgia Southern, and this is a tough prep. We don't see a lot of option, and everything they do, in terms of the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, the different ways they get into their multi-back sets, the different personnel groups they use, and they have excellent backs. They go 4 deep at tailback, and I'm sure they'll have ways of incorporating 2, 3, or more of those guys at times. So openers are always tough, especially with the new coaching staff. You're not exactly sure what you're going to get, but having said that, again, I think we've had a good camp, and our guys are excited to play. So I'll open it up to any questions.
We talked to a couple of your players about this. In the NFL, you get 4 preseason games. Even in high school, they give you some scrimmages against other schools, but in college, it's like this counts. How uneasy does it make a head coach going into the first?
Oh, it makes you very uneasy because it's the first time that you can have inter-squad scrimmages, but if you give up a big play or a sack, you just put the ball down and play the next play, and now it counts. And again, we'll have a number of guys playing for the first time, and it's first games are never clean. I think first games come down to who can make the least amount of mistakes in terms of the turnovers, the kicking game. It's really important in a first game you don't beat yourself. And it is what it is. And I don't care how many years you do this, the first game, man, the stomach is buzzing and you have the butterflies. And, if you didn't feel that way, you're probably in the wrong field.
It's unusual for a true freshman to come on any college football program as a running back like Cade Carney has. We've seen him play on Friday nights for many years. How did he do that? How did he just say, this is my job as an 18-year-old, just it's mine?
Well, I mean, part of it was he was able to stay healthy, and that was through spring and through camp. That Cade we had Tyler Bell go down, Isaiah Robinson's been down, Matt Colburn missed some time in the spring, and Cade was just there every single day. And what happens when you're younger and you're in a position like that and get reps, sometimes you take advantage of it and sometimes you prove you're not ready. And Cade learned from the reps, and he just became so consistent and so dependable. And even though he's young, he did enroll mid-year, but he's gotten so many reps That, again, he won't be perfect and it won't be clean, but he's ready to go and he's well prepared and he's very conscientious and he can do all the things we need our back to do. He can carry the football, he can protect, and he has great hands.
How optimistic are you about the big uglies up front that he'll be running about behind this year as far as improving your team and their overall run status?
Well, a year ago we went into the season and starting 2 to 3 freshman O-linemen. And now everybody on our offensive line that we expect to play regularly has been in our program at least 3 years. So I've said it many times, we're bigger, we're stronger, we're more experienced, and I expect us to be improved. And how improved we are, we'll find out in the next 12 to 13 weeks. But, again, I talk to our defensive linemen, and they'll tell you how improved they are. But again, we need that to show up this week. And, from where we started from to where we are, I know we're ahead, but we're still not where we need to be. But I think this year we'll take a nice step forward in that way.
You started in the spring with 5 guys, and other than when Phil was out with injury, you've had 5 guys. And I talked to Tyler about that, and he said, we have to play as a unit, so it's very important we all 5 stay on the field together. You talking about having those 5 guys ever since the spring in the same, what's that's going to be?
It's like piano keys, Dan. They got to all be playing the same tune.
That's good. That's good.
That they got to work together. And you can roll guys in there a little bit, but a double team with a guard tackle is a little bit different with whoever does it. So, Josh Harris and Ty Hayworth, and we got a lot of guys back that have played a lot of snaps. And again, we're still relatively young there when you consider we're starting 3 freshmen, and the next 2 guys, the next 3 guys off are a sophomore and 2 redshirt freshmen. But like I said, a year ago at this point, we were going to start 2 to 3 freshmen, and so they had all the reps of last season, all the reps of spring, all the reps of camp, all the summer workouts, and they're good players. And good players get better with reps and work. So, again, there's no doubt in my mind they're improved. But again, we got to show it.
You talked about how you feel your team has improved. There was a few games last year where you guys lost pretty close games. How confident are you in your team this year in those close games that you'll end up pulling it out and having those?
Well, we've been in them. Now we got to find ways to win them. I think, it's kind of a normal progression when you have a rebuilding job. The first year, at times it got ugly. I think last year we became more competitive. There were 7 games that were 1-score games in the fourth quarter, and we won 2 of them and lost 5 of them. If you win 3 more of them, you're in a bowl. And so there's no question that I think last year the progress that was we were in more games, and now this year the progress has to be we find ways to win those games. And again, we're better, but we have to execute in 1-score games in the fourth quarter better than we did a year ago. And I am confident that will happen, but we still have to do it.
Were Duke and Deontay able to do anything today?
Yeah. So you weren't there today.
I know, I laid out.
I know.
Loafed.
You wouldn't have, if you were there, you'd say, hey, you got to be excited about that. So yeah, those guys.
That's big.
Yeah, those guys practiced today, and they look good.
From watching on the tape, what does Nico Marley do? He would seem to be an undersized linebacker, but his statistics are overwhelming. Had 15 tackles last year in the season opener against Duke. What does he do? What are you seeing on tape?
He is a heat-seeking missile. He just has a nose for the football, and he's one of those guys that you can't be fooled by his size. He just has a knack of getting to the football, and he's a playmaker. He's a really, really good football player. So, to have as many tackles as he had the last 2 years, he's smart, he's instinctive, and he can run.
When you're playing a triple option offense like this, it's difficult because obviously they're going to be on the field a long time, they're going to run a lot of plays. How important are you get some turnovers to stop them and get them up?
Well, I think turnovers are important every game, but especially when you play a team like this. If they're able to stay on schedule, they can really control the time of possession, and that's what they'll do. They're not a go fast, hurry up offense. They're a team that's going to be very methodical and move the chains. And then, the toughest thing about defending this stuff is that everything on defense you teach is pursuit and angles and 11 guys to the football, and then, okay, week 1, bang, you better keep your eyes there and your eyes there, and it becomes playing very much assignment football. You know, because if you just pursue and run, the thing can end up with the quarterback or on the pitch or on the dive, and if your eyes aren't in the same place, the next thing you know, it's a 40, 50-yard play.
When's the last time you coached against this?
Well, you know, certainly what Army does is similar conceptually. The way that they do it is different. You know, Army is under center, and it's the old wishbone out of a different formation. These, you know, Tulane will present similar dilemmas out of different formations.
With Duke Deontay getting back, you actually were able then to get from spring to the opening game with pretty much everybody that you were counting on. Obviously, you lost Zeke and Zach. Zeke and Zach. Other than that, you got everybody to the first game, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, again, you never get through camp completely clean.
Right.
But, you know, knock on wood, I think most of our guys will be ready to go on Thursday.
That's big there.
And what do you know about their starting quarterback? I mean, he taken one snap in college football, from my understanding, that was a kneel. So what do you know about what he can do?
Well, I mean, it sounds to me like he's the older guy that can manage the game, and he throws it well. And, you know, with this offensive system, though, I mean, last year Georgia Southern played 2 quarterbacks, and one of them was a true freshman, and their older kid got hurt. And if you watch the film of their true freshman, so, you know, it's with the reads and stuff, you always want experience at quarterback. But, you know, it sounds to me like they're going to play 2 or 3 of them. And, you know, the other 2 guys are freshmen, and this guy's a redshirt sophomore that played a snap. But obviously he was the best fit for their system because 2 other quarterbacks who were in their program left the program because they were not fits for what they were doing. You know, and obviously Glenn was. That he was the guy that they felt fit the system and was athletic enough to do what they want. And you know, from what we hear, he's very good throwing it as well. So he's a true, you know, dual threat quarterback.
Coach Rich said he'll probably play one of the other guys. He wants to play 2, and he hasn't decided on which of the other 2. Does that pose problems? Not knowing.
No, I mean, you know, we go back and watch these guys on high school film, and we have an idea of what their skill set is and what they can do. And I mean, they're athletic guys, and they were recruited for this system. So, I mean, they're there for a reason. And again, you have a head coach that knows what he's doing, knows what he's looking for, and these guys were specifically recruited to run his offense.